I started live streaming about 3.5 years ago, and every once in a while somebody asks me about my setup, like what am I using? So welcome to my video, This Musician's Live Stream Setup. So first things first, this video is sponsored by nobody. No company has got any kind of vested interest in this whatsoever. The stuff that I'm using has all been handpicked by me. All the equipment I'm going to talk about today is basically stuff that I like using. I just really wanted to do this video because my live stream setup has come a long way in the last 3.5 years. And this is also my first video ever doing something like this. Usually I'm playing music, but instead I'm doing this setup video. If I had done one at the very beginning when I first started, it'd be this. Hi, welcome to my live stream setup video. I use my phone. Thanks for watching. But this is how it started. I used to have a gig every Monday from 3 o'clock until 6 o'clock downtown Nashville at a place called Bootleggers. And on the off season, there wouldn't be anybody in the bar. I figured, well, you know, I'll try this Facebook Live thing out, see what happens. Periscope was still around at that point, but it started with my phone on a tripod. And then when I moved to my house, I got a high-def USB webcam, Logitech. It was Logitech. And I got some lights, and I was live streaming in front of curtains. That's not very rock and roll. So I took my banner out of storage, and I used that as a backdrop. And then, finally, this. It's always growing, it's always been changing. Okay, so let's talk about what I use. I've got two GoPro Hero 7s. I've got one GoPro set up at eye level. Yeah, they can see from the top of my head to the bottom of the guitar. And I've got my second GoPro, which is at guitar height. So they can, you know, if I'm doing a solo or something, I can flip it over and they can, you know, they can watch the close-up of the fingers. Now, to my knowledge, it was the last GoPro that they came out with that had the HDMI out, which is important for the next part I'm going to talk about in a second. It was definitely an upgrade from my USB webcam, that's for sure. And as I said, because there's HDMI outs, it goes right into my Blackmagic ATEM Mini, which is an HDMI camera switcher. This is the mini version, but they also make a pro version, which has a USB out, which you can use to actually record whatever you're doing. But what I'm doing is I'm going live to YouTube and Facebook and Twitch. And YouTube and Facebook basically archive everything I'm doing. So I didn't need that. And there's a few other bells and whistles. Basically, the ATEM is perfect for what I was looking at. Now, it broadcasts at a resolution of 1080. And that's it. It doesn't do 4K, but, and I Googled this, I looked it up. Facebook Live, I think, supports up to 1080, and YouTube can support 4K, but my home internet probably can't. Usually I'm doing acoustic shows when I'm live streaming. Occasionally I'll do a full band, but usually it's acoustic. And I like to loop, so I'm not just going to use the microphones that are on the GoPros. I wanted to be able to plug in and have more of a direct experience. I still use my phone if I'm live streaming from a gig, if I'm on the road somewhere. But when I'm here, when I'm in this room, I use this. This is the Behringer XAir 18. A buddy of mine, Elio Giordano. We go back and forth quite a bit about our different setups, and his goals are much loftier than mine. He wants to do a different act every single week, and I just want to make sure I'm covered here. So he has a show called Live from the Shop. It's weekly, it's every Friday. He brings in a different artist or a different band every single week, and it's worth checking out, just as an aside. Please go and check out his show and show him some love. He's actually the one that hit me to this Behringer XAir 18. One thing I love about it is that it's got enough inputs for everybody, and there's also enough outputs so that each individual person can have their own in-ear monitor mix. I can actually get a little bit more of when we can all do our own in-ear thing. It's a beautiful thing. Love it. Now for lights. I mentioned that I actually had lights before. I had these photography lights, and one thing I didn't like, it's either on or off. So just recently, I actually upgraded a little bit to these. These are the Neewer These guys, 660 LED lights. There's 2 of them. You can control how bright they are. You can control the warmth. I'm using them right now to do this video. I use them all the time when I'm doing my live stream stuff. They travel really well because they come with travel bags for the lights themselves. And also for fun, as you can see, is like I'm being lit up here. These are the Govee RGBIC light strips. They also have Bluetooth, and I can control what they look like from my phone. I also got a stand-up desk. The switcher is never far away, so I can just reach it. I just have to reach out a little bit, push the button that I need to push. So as I'm playing, at the end of the solo, I have to remember to hit camera 1 again. It's a lot, but it's fun. Now, one other thing, I also have an in-ear system. It's the Shure PSM300, and that goes out from my XAir 18. So I'm not listening to the stream itself, but I'm listening to what I'm doing, so I can hear what I'm doing. Now, when I live stream, I always go to Facebook Live, Twitch, and YouTube. People can watch from wherever that they're comfortable. The platform that I opted for is the Streamlabs desktop platform. Now, I understand that they got into a little bit of trouble recently. I don't know anything about that, I can tell you that I got the premium subscription back about a year ago. On the computer, I'm monitoring the stream through the Streamlabs desktop. And on my phone, I've got that on Facebook, so I can follow along. If there's comments, I can respond to them in real time. If there's requests, I can play them. Somebody tells a joke. Live streaming for me is a real exercise in focus, because if I'm singing, I have to make sure I don't read the comments at the same time, because I will start singing the comments. That's happened a few times. Yeah. Well, that's my video. This is my setup. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions as to what you think I should be doing differently, leave them in the comments. I'd love to see it. I'd love to read it. I'd love to hear about it. I want to learn new stuff. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. And I should probably mention as well that my live stream happens every Monday at 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific, and it happens on YouTube, which is where you are here. It happens on Twitch. Here's the address. And then it happens on Facebook Live. Here's that address. I'll also list everything I talked about in the description for the video below. See you next time.